My wife and I have 2 kids. Our oldest is our daughter and our youngest is our son. And our family has always played video games even when the kids were younger. But as our son grew up, he continued and stayed in the video game world. He continued to play games, especially in late high school and early college.
My name's Keegan O'Brien. I'm 24 years old and I currently live in Southwest Florida. Before moving to Florida, I used to live in Pennsylvania with my mom and dad, Brendan and Jen, and my sister Reagan. One of our favorite things to do growing up was playing video games. My sister and I would play all types of games like Splashdown and Motocross X. My grandfather and I actually played racing games, fighting games, all types. It wasn't necessarily about the winning or the losing, but it was about the time that we got to spend together. Through middle school and high school, I didn't really play much, but when college came around, my friends and I really started taking up on it. We started playing more and more, and we enjoyed it. So every single night after coming home from school and eating dinner, we'd get on around midnight or so and play all through the morning.
At the same time, my wife and I are trying to go to sleep. And he would make all kinds of noise. He's having fun, he's frustrated, all that kind of stuff. And so I'd have to get out of bed, go down to his room and say, "Hey, can you get quiet?" And he was great. He would say,
"Yeah, sure."
And you get quiet. Well, that would happen night after night after night. And eventually it got really frustrating. So I would pull the cord to his monitor, or I would pull out the cord to his PS4. Let me tell you, those things did not work. In fact, it made things worse. And they became stress and tension and friction between us just because of this.
When my dad would come in and touch my cables, it was really frustrating. All day I just wanted to come home and play games with my friends and have a good time. When he would come in and do that, it was as if he didn't care what I was doing. The only thing he wanted me to do was stop. He never showed interest in what I was doing or what we were playing.
And this went on and on and on and on and on. And so finally, there was one day, I remember a Saturday afternoon, I got smart, or God touched me, one of the two. And I went up to his room while he was playing, and I stood behind his screen waiting for him to welcome me in. And he finished, he put his headset down, motioned for me to come around to his screen so I could see what he was doing. And I just asked him, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like,
"I'm playing Rocket League."
I said, "Well, what's Rocket League?" He said, "Well, it's remote control cars playing soccer." And I was like, well, how does that work? And he said, "Let me show you." So he put his headset back on and he hopped into a match with 2 of his other friends, and they played 3 against 3. It's a 5-minute match. And for the next 5 minutes, I was blown away. I saw everything in my son that I had wanted to see in the course of his development from a young boy to where he was at that point. I saw character, I saw integrity, I saw sportsmanship, I saw resilience, I saw grit, I saw teamwork. And in that moment, I thought this was awesome. This was something really special. So he finished the match, and I can't even remember if they won or lost. But I just had so many questions. So for the next half hour, I just peppered him with question after question after question. Tell me about esports. Tell me about Rocket League. Tell me. And he talked about tournaments. He talked about viewership. He talked about money. He talked about the pros. He talked about the global phenomenon this thing was. And it was amazing. And my mind was blown. And so I said, "Let's go back to the tournaments." He said, "Okay." I said, "Who runs the tournaments?" He said, "Well,
anyone can run a tournament."
I said, "Could we run a tournament?" He said, "Sure, we could run a tournament." I said, "Well, could we run a tournament and stop before the championship game?" He said, "I don't see why not." I said, "Could we run a tournament, stop before the championship game, and share about Jesus, and then play the championship game?" He said, "Sure, I don't see why not." And then this next thing blew me away. He said,
"My friend Seth could help with the coaching, my friend Kevin could help with running the tournament, and my friend John could help setting up the Discord." At this point, I could see what my dad was thinking and processing, and all I wanted to do was help him be a part of this. After not enjoying or paying attention to video games, I could see his mentality switching, and I wanted to help him do that.
And I was amazed. I was absolutely amazed. And in that moment, the crazy idea was born. The idea that we could use video games to talk about Jesus as a ministry, it was amazing.